Ready? Yes, this is about project. 2 years ago, we merged the old project manager with the old model viewer and make the new project manager. And at the same time, we made it possible to share project in the cloud. This was a very big and important step for impact. And today we will talk about what we have done since then, what we are doing now, and plans for the future. My name is Håkan Hansson. I'm product owner of Project Manager. I'm also development manager for Impact.
And I'm Niklas, and I work in the support department. This is our agenda, and I think that Håkan summarized it quite well. We're starting off with a recap because a lot has changed since we launched Project Manager 15 in 2016. As you can see by this image, it doesn't look very similar to what we have today. So a recap just to show you some highlights, and then we're moving forward to a demo, a live demo. So please don't overload the Wi-Fi. Yeah, we have 3 demo blocks. The first is going to be about tips and tricks. The second is alternative ways to import projects, and the third is about linked in general. And finally, we're talking about the future, the road ahead. Okay.
Yes, so what have we done? We have improved the model view tab. Now we can show fillings in the model view. Fillings is recesses with material, and you can have fillings outside element like this. We show sloped I-beams with the correct section. We have also added all 3 panels for sandwich walls. And coming with sandwich wall, also sandwich wall end caps. So now we can show corner end caps. And we show panel thickening in the model view, like this internal panel thickening around the lift. We have also improved linked element. And what is linked element? We have talked about linked element today. It can be anything. It has a length, width, height, mass, area, and strands. And you can type in a linked element in the project manager itself, and it will look like this. But it can also have a 3D solid. So if you make the linked element in AutoCAD and save it, it will be a DWI. Or if you make a linked element in Revit, like a dinosaur, it will be an OBJ file. Linked element can also include casting material and reinforcement. It can have drawings, both DWE PDF, building floor and face. And the best of it all, you can do rough and fine planning, so you can put the linked element on the transport, on a form, and do erection planning. We have also added a new parameter to linked elements, so you can tell the production planning which side should be top in form, if it's a complex element. We have added transparency, so you can watch inside element like this internal thickening. And you do it up in the left. Clipping planes is also a new thing. You can do a vertical or horizontal section through the building. We'll show this later.
Yeah, we have grid presets to the element ID grid. You access them by right-clicking on the column header, and then you'll be presented with this context menu. The purpose of having these presets is so that you can configure the grid to look as you want it to look. And we at StruSoft have made 3 presets. They're called Designer, Transport Manager, and Cost Manager. And the idea is for you to use them as a base for your own customization. which you then can save. And they are tied to the user, so no matter which computer you're working with, you can access these configurations as long as you log in as the same user that made the configuration. And we also have a built-in PDF viewer. It has the most common functionality like zoom, pan. You can print from it. Yeah. So you can view your plotted drawings internally in the app instead of having an external tool like Adobe Reader, for example.
Yes, we have also added PXML export from the PM, Project Manager. And what is PXML? PXML is the bending schedule for the bending machine. And you do this in 2 steps. First of all, you have to activate the setting in the project properties. Save reinforcement PXML file. So the same time as you save a drawing, there will be a PXML file in the same folder as the drawing, in the drawing folder, and it will be named the same as the drawing, but PXML extension instead of DWE. And what it does in Project Manager, it copies the file from the drawing folder to the folder where the bending machine takes its file for making bending jobs.
And this is similar to BBBS.
Yes. We have also optimized detail levels. As you know, we have 3 detail levels: coarse, medium, and fine. Coarse is the fastest one. It's optimized for checking status colors, and it has no details, no end caps. Medium is optimized for erection planning, so there is no internal detailing like cores and panels, but you will see the support and the connections. And the fine has a full detailed geometry. And another thing is if you have a color outer panel in this sandwich element, in medium and coarse it will show the whole element with the outer panel color, so you easily can check the facade colors.
Yes, jumping into some statistics. We have reduced the time it takes to load the model data. You can compare it here from 2016 to today. It's reduced by approximately 60%. We're proud to say that. We also reduced the time it takes to import projects by approximately 90%. And before we start our demo sessions, I just want to mention that we have added support for Microsoft Azure in addition to Amazon Web Services. So this is so that you can install and run Impact in the cloud using both platforms. And the benefit of having Impact in the cloud is, of course, that you can share files more easily. You don't need to export and import projects. One other benefit is, of course, also that you can work from anywhere, like we're about to do right now, from a conference room. So we're going to run version 16, connected to Amazon in Frankfurt.
Okay.
So let's switch to Impact 16.
Don't start it.
And maybe I can do it.
It's Niklas' computer.
Yeah, it's my computer. Okay.
The new splash screen.
Am I connected to the Wi-Fi? Alright, here we go. So the first block is tips and tricks. And I want to show you clipping planes, as Håkan quickly mentioned earlier. So the clipping planes are located in the View tab, in the ribbon. And you can see that there are 3 buttons for the clipping planes. That's because there are 3 planes to work with. There's one plane in the XY axis, one plane for the YZ axis, and one plane for the XZ axis. And you start by activating one plane. Håkan, can you do it? You can activate the XY plane. And nothing is happening. And that's because plane is either above the model or below the model. So what you want to do next is go into edit mode to adjust the position on the plane. So now you can see a preview. This is a red field. And you can grab one of the handles. Håkan is grabbing the sphere. And when he moves it down, you can see that the elements are being cut. And the red color is left on the surface that is cut. And when you're satisfied with the position of the plane, you can release it and toggle out of edit mode by pressing the same button. And you can see that the red color still remains. And now you can view all your connections, and you can view the elements that wasn't visible before. And you can deactivate the plane just by pressing the activation button. Back to normal, and then you can activate it again. Yeah, we have 2 more planes. Håkan, can you activate them and move them into position? And you can see that they have different colors, just so you can identify them. And initially, the planes are aligned in the horizontal or vertical axis, but they can actually be rotated freely. So if you go into edit mode and then you grab the rotate handles, you can see that the plane is rotated. And here you can get really lost. Okay, how are lost?
Yes.
Fortunately, there is a reset button, so you can show them that. You go back.
So it's back again.
Oh, that's clipping planes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to show you is how you can search the tables for information efficiently. So if you go into the element ID table, and we pretend for a moment that we want to find elements that share the element mark HC7. What you can do is scroll the list like Håkan is doing now and try to find it with your eye. It's not very efficient.
Who is this?
Hopefully you find it. Yeah. If you're lucky, you find an element. Another way you can progress is by using the filters in the column header. I bet that some of you have used it already. And you can use the operator is equal to. So let's type in HC7 and then press the filter button. And you can see that the content is filtered. And the elements that share the element mark is shown. But there is one more efficient way of doing this, achieving the same result. And that is to use the full text search. For this to work, you need to be in the grid, you need to focus the grid. So we have one cell selected, and then you press the shortcut, Ctrl F, to bring the box up. And the fine thing about this, at least that's what I think, is that it filters while you're typing. So let's type in age, and you can see that we have some highlights in the table, yellow background and the red foreground. And that's the cells with information that matches what you search on. So that's completed by adding this 7. So, yeah, it's faster. And this works in the element ID grid, the element marks grid, the drawings grid, and perhaps, or most likely, other grids as well. Okay. The next thing is an addition to the project browser. Yeah. We have added 3 buttons in the top, and they let you expand or collapse either to floor, building, or the whole tree. So imagine you have a large project with a lot of floors, a lot of buildings. It can grow real big. So if you quickly want to get back to just having the floors expanded, you can press the button first to the right, like so. And then you can go 1 step below that, buildings, and then the whole tree. And they work both ways, so let's expand. Like so. The last thing I want to show you in this block is in the Open Projects dialog. We now save the sorting and the filtering that is done in this dialog, so you will have the same selection when you open it again. And this applies even if you close the application and reopen it. So let's go ahead and go wild. What do you want to filter on, Håkan?
I want to filter temp project type, yes.
Okay, do we have a sort?
And sort on name.
Sort on name. Okay, are you satisfied?
Yes.
Okay, open the dialog again. And you can see that the filtering remains. It's this indication here in the column header that the funnel is orange. And also you see the triangle in the project column header. Yeah. And that's it for this tips and tricks demo block. And now Håkan is going to show you alternative ways of importing projects.
So now when you have learned all these good tips and tricks, you need projects, right? And of course the best thing is to make projects in the design tools in Revit, BricsCAD, or AutoCAD, or you can import projects, ready-made projects from Tekla and Revit. But what if you don't have these options? You can use linked. So we have developed an XML file for importing linked projects. So now can you show this, please, Niklas?
Sure. So what do you want me to do?
In the menu, import linked, and select an XML file.
Okay. This one?
Yes, looks good. And you have 2 options. You can either import, create element marks and import the whole project, or only import or update element marks. So let's use the first option.
Oh, that's a warning?
Yeah, so it also can update if you export and import from the same project, but this is a completely new project, so just say yes. And what it does now, it creates element marks and build up the 3D model. And the good thing is with this XML file, it can include custom materials and reinforcement. So all the material. Soon we are there. And this is the log. So we can close it. And it's the same house in linked. So you can see it's we have a 3D model, but the elements are now linked, so we don't have end caps, but we have reinforcement and custom material. So this you can continue with to make transport planning, production planning, and erection planning. But there is an even more easy way to import project. You can just import an Excel sheet. So can you open an element table in Excel?
Yeah,
please? Sure. So you can make an Excel sheet like this with element marks, quantities, length, width, height, area and mass, and you can add time and cost, and plan production, factory, production division, phase, building and floor, and if you add number of strands, it will automatically be a pre-stressed link, and you can also add a good remark, a comment to the production or to the transport, whatever. So if you close this and import it, it's actually the same project in linked.
Should you just find the appropriate project?
Yeah. And
is it the same dialogue?
Same dialogue, yes.
Okay.
And now instead you select Excel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same question. We want both element marks and elements. Import, yes. And same again. It creates element marks, and but now since the Excel file didn't have seams and reinforcement, there will be nothing of those, and there is no position either. We only know house, floor, and face. So it's a very easy way to get elements. So it will look like this, like the stockyard. So you have all the elements, you have them in house and floors, but now 3D position. And with this element, you can continue work, do production planning and transport planning. So these are 2 usage of linked. We have more demos on linked. Another usage is you have a special element, and you can make the drawing and the 3D object in AutoCAD and save it as linked. Then you will have the element to work with in PM, like this staircase Niklas has done before. So if you have elements which you cannot do with our tools, you can always make it in linked. So that's one usage. And the fourth one is you can do erection seam with linked. Like this. So if you model erection seams in AutoCAD or Revit, you can save them as linked, and with this way you can keep track of the elements, the erection seam on building floor and faces. And a recommendation, if you work with link like this, is to create link definitions to keep them separated. So this you can do also in Project Manager. So here you can add, here you can add a good description, and you also assign material to the linked elements. Okay. This was the demo, I think. Right.
Okay.
So now to the
back to presentation.
To the future, to 16. As Nikolai mentioned, we are working with a new slab module, and in Project Manager it looks like this. So this is a new slab with end caps on all edges. So that's a new thing. Yes.
We're also enhancing the graphical performance in the model view in version 16. So I talked a little about the way we load data, and that we have reduced the time it takes to load the data into the model. This is another parameter. It's when you work with your house, with the buildings in the model view. If it's large and you try to rotate it, you maybe zoom in, zoom out, it can break up in wireframe. It doesn't handle many elements that well. But in 16 it does. It doesn't matter if you have 10 or thousands of elements. It will handle it just fine. And I have 2 comparison videos showing this. So let's go ahead and view them. So on the left side we have 15 as it is today, and when you try to rotate the model, You can see it breaks up in wireframe because it can't handle the rendering. But in 16, it handles it fine. We're also making changes to the way we load data, making them more differential. In the current version, we don't ask the question, has the element been changed since the last refresh? We just load in all the data. And that's time consuming. In version 16, we're going to ask ourselves, or we're going to ask the program, has the element been changed since your last refresh? If the answer to that question is yes, then sure, we reload the data and we rebuild the model. But if it's no, then we do nothing. So this will reduce the time it takes to refresh a project tremendously. You will still, of course, have the initial loading times, but when you're working and you want to do an update, it will be much faster. Whoa.
Watch out.
We're fine?
Yes. So in 16 we have also started other news. We will work with IFC, import IFC as reference models or as convert to linked. We will do cranes and erection planning features in Project Manager. First of all, we will copy the functions we have in AutoCAD to Project Manager to work with cranes and then to automate erection planning. And we will also do the calculations from the Project Manager in 16. So this is the news. So questions?
Oh, Håkan, before we open up for questions, I received a project that I would very much like to share with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Is this from someone here?
No, it's actually from the North Pole.
Okay. Is it from Sanda? Sanda came early.
Yeah, it's going to be produced really soon.
So with these linked elements, we wish you Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Now to questions. Questions?
No questions.
When you're cutting from the size that you did in the beginning, can you see the casting material also?
No.
We don't have custom materials in the Project Manager. Only erection seams.
Oh.
6 minutes, 7 minutes break.
Mm-hmm.